Welcome back to the Cyber Executive. Once again, we're here at GPSEC, hosted by GuidePoint Security. I am here with my good friends, Kristi and Travis. So, guys, thank you very much for joining me here today.
Privilege.
Yeah, and so we've been talking a lot about different things, and one of them is around the future of cybersecurity. So, I think right now we're in interesting times, and I know we've had several conversations and stuff. But guys, what's your thoughts of where are we going in cybersecurity now with AI and the industry and everything else? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, for me, it's all about the team and helping the team realize the things that they've done so far that's helped them be successful. AI is going to take over a lot of those steps, the responses and things. And so helping them really make the transition to like, I'm the human in the loop and all the rest of it, AI gets to automate and work with. But my role is going to be understanding what's happening and being that check stop to make sure AI doesn't go crazy, but yet the responding to the alerts and the logging and things that I've done in the past, those aren't going to be my path to success in the future.
Yeah, responding, discussing the team also, I'm also looking forward to how does this impact our hiring and the team growth in the future too?
Yeah.
With the growth of the agentic SOC, I think over the next, especially 3 to 5 years, it's really going to impact where are we getting like our entry to mid-level people with solid skill sets. Because now it's no longer are the days where we go in as a level 1 analyst, reviewing logs, learning by getting our hands dirty right then and there. We're really coming in and getting mid-level people. So we're skipping an entire step of learning and developing in cybersecurity. And we've got to start thinking about how we're going to close that gap. So our mid-level people are no longer the new entry level. I don't really have an answer for that. But I'm hoping that, in our industry, we can still take advantage of things like those internship programs that are out there, still continue to use those. So we're still having people get hands-on experience early on, even if it's not, what we're using for all of our level 1 and 2.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and when we were talking a couple weeks ago around entry level, and I name dropped you earlier on it with an earlier conversation around how AI is changing those entry level positions and how where's the new entry level becomes then at that point. I think it's going to cause a step up of the training organizations like Perscalis and CyberUp and the other even the colleges and universities on where they need to step up to. So where else do you think like that entry level benchmark where that criteria might become going forward?
And, I think that's a hard one. I think that it's one of those we're going to have to learn and adapt as we grow, really. I think there's going to be an identity crisis for a long while, especially through the internship programs, the boot camps, and the universities even, right? I think the university is a great place if you're learning how to be, leadership, upper level leadership. There's several great programs that have hands-on, but you still don't actually get that real world experience in any of these until you're really out there in the open. So I think we're still going to have to rely a lot on those internship and apprenticeship, type of organizations, but it's making sure that we can still communicate to the business. The importance is bigger than just us, and they have a role with us alongside us in supporting the agentic SOC rather than just relying completely on AI for the level 1.
Travis?
One of the biggest considerations I have when I'm hiring somebody is curiosity, right? If they're curious, we can work from there for almost anything. And I think that's a lot of what I'm seeing is that folks before where they'd have to know all the steps of how to make something work, they can ask AI, hey, I'm human in the loop. I'm being asked this question. What are the risks here? And really training them instead of trying to figure out all the steps to code an answer. It's really ask the right questions. Right. And even if I don't know what if I don't know what the right questions are, ask AI, what should I be asking here? And I think it's that mentality that's really going to change in information security.
I think that's a great point. I think it's having those right people, which we've always had this conversation, right? It doesn't really matter what you come into from even the perfect skill set. You find the right person that's curious and that's a go-getter, keeps pushing themselves. But now can we use this as a means to push ourselves farther, ask the right questions? We've never been an industry that just sits there and waits, but now we've got all these extra tools to help guide us in different directions and expand, that evaluation thought process farther than it's ever gone. So hopefully we're not just replacing people. Hopefully it's pushing the people farther that are there.
And I think that's so key. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go right ahead.
That's so key because businesses are more than ever are looking at us not to tell them no, but to tell them how. How do I go forward? Absolutely. How do I do this fast?
Yeah.
So do you think, because, we're between the three of us, we're in three different industries. My most recent was banking. You're in mining. You're in insurance. Do you think that's going to change any between the needs of the different industries, or do you think it's going to be pretty much transparent and pretty much the same across the board?
I think there's going to be nuances, of course. But what I really think is that for the most part, we need to learn how to, as an industry, say that we are supplementing, right? Not just replacing. I think that's going to be my lesson that I want to keep pushing, because again, we're going to leave ourselves with this huge gap in skills that's really going to impact the 5, 10, 20 years down the road on what type of person and what type of person we're hiring, in our industries. I'm someone that's still fairly midway in my career. And so I'm still looking at who am I going to be hiring 20 years down the road? And I want to make sure those people are out there, right? And if we start replacing people earlier on, we're not going to have them. So right now is where we've got to be vocal and say, hey, this is how we make our current people more efficient and make them smarter, not just replace them altogether with AI.
Yeah. Agree. That's a great point.
Yeah. So I think also one of the things that, once we have them in is that development component of that and the mentorship and, and how we bring them along. And I think that's going to change very dramatically because of the different roles in technology that's, being introduced. And I think it's going to be across the industry, not just in cyber and IT, on how you bring those entry level people up and where you're going to take them and stuff. So, well, guys, I appreciate the conversations as always. Thank you for having me on the Cyber Executive for a quick short here at the conference. So enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks, Mark.
For everyone else, be sure to like and share the podcast. And until next time, thank you.
Thank you.